Hey man, I think you're a little bit too close to me. Do you mind giving me a little bit of space? Yeah, I know I've been catching some fish here, but maybe back off a few more feet. Hey, you paying attention? Hey, come on, man, move off.
Well, you know, this thing is 6 feet long and looks like there's a few more feet left, so I'm properly socially distanced.
Hey guys, today I'm at Stillhouse Hollow going after white bass and anything else that will bite in 45 feet of water. Water temperature's surface temperature about 63 degrees, and this is post-spawn white bass. So I'll show you where we found them and what techniques we used to catch them and what kind of lures. This is the first time I went fishing for since 5 weeks ago, before the lockdown and all that. So it was just good to get out today, and my goal was just to catch some fish, bring some home, and feel like a normal day. So I think you'll see that the mission was accomplished. So this guy pulls up to me and look at the cast he makes. Pretty close to my boat, but I guess he's got really good bait casting equipment.
Clint, come on over. There's this guy over here. He's catching a bunch of fish. Join us. You can squeeze on right into here. There's plenty of room.
So of course his buddy comes in, and there's just no decency left in fishing with this coronavirus thing. Okay, the previous skit was just a skit made up. We were actually all fishing together. Me, Young, Clint, and Ben were fishing together, and we basically split up to try to find the white bass. And when one of us found it, the other two came up. So while it looks like a Pot Lickers Anonymous meeting around the boat, we were actually working as a three boat team with 3 live scopes, 3 spot locks, 2 thumpers, and 4 idiots looking around for fish. And that's the way to do it. You split up and try to find the fish, and then communicate with each other and go potluck each other. That makes it fun. So we spent most of the morning fishing in low wind conditions, but once the wind picked up, the fish really came around, and we were pretty much doubling up on every other drop. You know, as aggressive as they are, you can pretty much just put down a hook and bring them in. So as quickly as you can get it down there and reel them up, you can drop it down and get the next one. And of course, we had to run the thumper the whole time to keep them around long enough to bite. So what you see here is while we're thumping, they're coming through, and you can just see them come through, hang out for a few minutes, and just keep jigging. You'll see their response, and just adjust your jigging speed and cadence to kind of bring them in. As you see, once they come in, you basically just reel through them, and they'll pretty much hook themselves. Not a lot of hook set necessary when they're doing that. Look, they're just going quick. So if you reel through them and you didn't catch anything, just drop it back down, go down to close to the bottom, and start all over again, and then do it again. And then their brothers and sisters come around and get really excited. And when they're like this, you're not catching, you're not trying. So very, very easy, and we were just lucky to get into them. Make sure you're thumping the whole time, though. That's really the key. And if you're close enough, doubles are very common, especially on the same boat. So here's some more footage of just working the lure and watching your live scope, and you can just see them start gathering and getting excited. You just reel up through them. Again, no hook set necessary. You can see here, I'm just reeling, and then they just hook themselves. Makes it very, very relatively easy to catch. There's another one on the spoon. Again, just drop the spoon down there, and just watch the live scope and watch how they start gathering. And you can see the interest in your lure. They'll come up to it and they just start attacking it. And I just pull up through it, and if I don't catch anything, I'll drop it straight back down, as you see here. And you'll see it follow, go back down. Sometimes they'll hit it on the drop. It's harder to catch them on the drop. But once I get through to them, I just reel back up again. And after a couple of those, they'll hook themselves. Look how Young's boat keeps a pretty good distance from mine and very consistent. So he's got the Minn Kota and I've got the Motor Guide XI5, and we're both pretty much at the same distance throughout the day. So you see my lure dropping right in the middle of the screen there, and you see their interest level. So once you start seeing that, you can just adapt your technique. Go right through them and then reel up, and you see them chasing it. And sometimes you don't catch them, so just drop it back down and start over again. Same technique. And you can do this without live scope, but man, it sure helps to have the live scope. You can see everything that's happening and adapt your technique as you go along. With 2D sonar, you can do the same thing, but it's a lot more fun watching it on live scope. So you see them just gather around again, keep reeling until you hook them, and really no big hook set. I mean, I'll set it a little bit, but not really necessary. And of course, if you position yourself up against points and humps when the wind's blowing near creek bends, then they're just going to gather. Around those humps and points around creek bends and intersections. And as long as you continue thumping, they'll come around. And look at this. They just come in big groups of hundreds of fish. And just, work your lure again. Same technique. Drop it below them, bring it up, and they'll get hooked and bring them up. Have a lot of fun there. So this is looks like a Pot Lickers Anonymous meeting right here. Look at these guys all over me. So between the 3 boats, we had 3 live scope systems and 2 thumpers. We were running both thumpers today. And when you're in the points and when you're near points and humps and creek beds with bait fish around and other fish, you're going to catch some other fish also. This one's a big one. I thought I had a good bass there, like a 6-7 pounder. And well, you kind of fight him a little bit and then you realize, okay, he's not coming to the top or jumping or anything. So it's probably a gasper goo. And so we caught about 6 or 7 of these today. I had to keep one because he swallowed the hook and was bleeding. So kept him and gave it to a friend. I guess they eat up pretty decent. I don't really eat them, but a lot of fun to fight though. 5-6 pounder like that. Gasper goo. And they'll take soft plastics, they'll take spoons, they'll take everything. And it kind of changes the pace up a little bit, makes it kind of fun. Now, it's not always the land of milk and honey, and a lot of times when it's not so windy, what you have to do is, you look on the live scope screen, you don't see a lot on the screen, but they're actually on the bottom. And if you pay very close attention, you can see their movements on the bottom, and just know that they're there and work that lure. You can see them respond to it, and that's how you know you can hang around there. And I caught this one on a soft plastic. When they're not aggressive, that works very well. You can see right here when they're not aggressive, there's not a lot going on the screen, but you watch the bottom, they come right out of the bottom with your lure. And so that's really what you're trying to do, is just trying to find out that they are there, and they'll respond to your lure. So keep tapping that bottom, you'll see them come up. And of course, you got to thump the whole time. As long as you're thumping and you see activity on the bottom when you're tapping, there's not a lot of fish, but you'll catch them if they're aggressive and they're moving around. And doing all that, you're just waiting for a moment like this when they start, the wind picks up and they start gathering. That's when it really becomes fun, because it's anybody can catch the fish when they're like this, and a lot of fun to watch on the live scope screen too. So these are the moments I live for when I'm on the water, and everything else I'm doing is just waiting for this moment, and just start bringing them up. Have a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you learned something from this video. It's not always full of fish on the bottom, but just be very patient. Just keep looking for them. Keep driving around those points and humps around creek bends and intersections, and you'll find them, especially when the wind starts picking up a little. So today I wanted to keep some fish. Had to keep the gasper goo. He swallowed the hook. Had to keep the largemouth bass, but I just kept the limit and took it home, cleaned it, and gave it to some friends and enjoyed some for myself. Hope you enjoy the video.